Today we're going to go over some tips and tricks for installing barrels into CZ Scorpions. Some of the reasons you may want to change your barrel would be if you're going to go from a pistol or carbine down to a micro barrel, which I have here, or if you are in a situation where you want to go from having a factory carbine barrel and you SBR it and you're wanting to go to a standard pistol length barrel. Procedure is going to be the same as far as how the barrels mount into the trunnions. It's really a barrel threaded into a trunnion and the trunnion mounted into the upper receiver. So we're just, again, today not going to go through the whole process, just a few tips and tricks as it is definitely an experienced machinist or a gunsmith only type of installation. The primary reason if you had a pistol barrel and you wanted to go shorter might be because the factory barrels are actually serialized. So depending on, I guess, your situation or how your future plans might be for the weapon. Again, the factory barrels are serialized to match the receiver and the bolt. So some people do want to keep their factory serial number matching barrels intact and go with different barrels. So I guess first thing to note if you're going to be switching barrels around are that the barrel themselves, the barrel is threaded into the trunnion, and the torque is high, but also the amount of thread lock is very high. You're going to definitely need some specialty, I guess I'd call them specialty tools, to remove the barrel from the trunnion. We made a set of soft jaws here that I'll do a quick demonstration. Actually hold the trunnion in the vise pretty well. One thing you don't want to do is try to remove the barrel with the trunnion still in the upper receiver. The upper receiver is polymer and it's clamshelled around this little gap that you can kind of see in the trunnion. If you were to clamp the upper in a vise and apply as much torque as it would require to break the threads loose, there's a good chance that you'll do damage to the upper receiver. So you definitely want to have the barrel and trunnion assembly removed from your upper before you try to do any type of barrel swaps. So I guess that said, we'll put the little trunnion into our vise, and kind of one of the first things we're going to notice is that the barrel is staked around the perimeter, I think about 8 times. I guess, key to getting the barrel off cleanly is going to be to use the right tool. So we have the factory barrel as well as the barrels that we manufacture have 2 15mm flats on them. So we'll come in with, you could try using an open end wrench. A better tool is going to be what they call a crow's foot wrench. Again, still 15mm, but this will allow you to use a breaker bar or a ratchet and try to get a little bit more force and torque on the barrel assembly. So this barrel has already been out once, so it doesn't have as much Loctite on it as it would if it was fresh. But I'll go ahead and unthread this guy and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like once you remove it. Again, this barrel has been out one time prior to filming this video, so it's not quite as difficult, but you can still, kind of see the thread locker just pouring out of there. It's white in color. It's similar if you took the barrel nut off or safety selectors out. It's similar to the thread lock that you see on those threads. I believe it's a European thread lock, but we kind of think it's similar to the Loctite red that we see here in the United States, in that we typically need to use heat and torque to remove it. So that is what your barrel is going to look like once you remove it from the trunnion. Another very important thing to note about barrels and trunnions are that they are notched. The trunnion and the barrel are machined or notched for the extractor on the bolt. So when the bolt comes forward in the battery, if there's a round in the chamber, the extractor is actually kind of kicked up and forward of the front face of the bolt, and it rests, the extractor rests in this little pocket that's machined into the trunnion. And we can kind of see if I guess we'll go ahead and put the barrel back in the trunnion just for example here. We can kind of see that the barrel is also notched. So when you take your barrel and trunnion out of your upper, you'll notice that torque this guy back down. So on your right side this is a trunnion, brand new from CZ USA. It's not been notched for the extractor. Now on your left, here is the takeout barrel we're just looking at. You can see the trunnion is notched as well as the barrel. So what that means, here's another example. We'll put this one on your right hand side. This has our K barrel. This is a trunnion, a factory Gen 2 trunnion from a carbine with our K barrel in it. And you can kind of see here that the trunnion is notched and has a machine groove on it, but our barrel does not. And this is because the threads on the trunnions are not timed. So if we put a barrel into this trunnion and a barrel into this trunnion, where they index into the actual trunnion itself is going to be different. So the barrels themselves do need to be notched or machined to mate with the trunnion that you're going to use. So this again is and there are several ways to do it. You can install your new barrel, whether it's a K barrel or a pistol barrel, or if for some reason you want a carbine barrel, you can install it. We've used silver Sharpie in the past. You can kind of mark it with some silver Sharpie. Mark the area that you're going to machine out to mate with the pre-existing extractor pocket. You could scribe using a sharp tool into the barrel. And again, ensure the barrel is torqued down first. And when we remove our barrel from the trunnion, we'll still have the area that we want to machine or file, because it is a straight, there's no contours. Trying to find another example. So here's a factory barrel that's got the groove in it. So we can do the same thing again with hand tools if we wanted to in the barrel, but it is definitely a tricky procedure, and gunsmith installation is recommended. What we're going to do now is go through the whole process here. So let's go back to our pistol barrel, and we're going to swap this one real quick. So we're going to remove our factory pistol barrel, and this will be its third time coming out. So as you can see, the Loctite's still pretty icky on there. So we'll remove the factory pistol barrel, set that aside, and we're going to install our K barrel. The first thing to do on the existing trunnion, however you want, is to clean the Loctite out of the threads. It'll typically brush out with a nylon or a stainless steel wire brush. Probably do a better job cleaning than that, but get as much of the Loctite out of the threads as you can. And then we recommend that you do use the red 271 on your new barrel. So go ahead and generously apply the red 271 on your new barrel. Make sure that your threads are completely coated. You don't need to coat the base of the barrel, but make sure the threads are completely and thoroughly coated in your red 271. And then thread barrel into your trunnion, and we're going to use our pro-foot wrench here. The factory torque spec, this is very important actually, the factory torque spec on the barrel to trunnion interface is 8 Newton meters, which is pretty close to 65 foot-pounds, or I should say what we've been torquing to here is 65 foot-pounds. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So 65 and check it. So with the barrel torqued to the trunnion, we can stake it around the perimeter. Again, the factory had 8 stakes. You can use 6 or 8 and stake it to your liking. There's a lot of different methods for staking. Every gunsmith's going to do it different, but use your best judgment and skills when staking a barrel. If you're using our handguard, we did design our trunnion mounts to actually clamp and secure both the barrel and the trunnion. So you'll see, try to show it here, when you install the trunnion mount, it actually captures the barrel and the trunnion. So when it's tightened down, it actually, so our trunnion block secures the barrel to the trunnion in addition to any staking that you do and the Loctite. So it's just an extra level, I guess, of attachment at the trunnion for the barrel. So the only thing left is the extractor groove or pocket here, and we're going to take it over to the mill real quick and mill a quick pocket in there and just show you how the correct way to do it is. How you choose to create that gap or pocket in the barrel is up to you, but we're going to show you how we do it here. Alright, so we're back with the installed barrel. We've got the barrel torqued to 8 Newton meters or 65 foot-pounds, and it's Loctited to the trunnion, staked, and we also machined an extractor notch into the trunnion to allow the extractor to clear the bolt face, or I'm sorry, to clear the trunnion when the bolt is in battery. So we hope that you maybe take something away from this video. If you have any questions or comments on it, please just let us know. Again, this is just general tips and tricks for installing barrels into Scorpion trunnions. And again, if you have any questions, just let us know. Email, phone call, Facebook, or Instagram. Thanks.